Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Roster Roast, and we're going to be roasting Hollywood today. 5 different things that we roast people on. It's your ISOs, your placement, your power levels, who you're using, and what kind of mood I'm in. We're going to jump right into this one. Now, Hollywood's defense isn't too bad, but he's got a couple of interesting things going on, or at least he did before I told him I was roasting it. He may have changed things up before I got in here. Let's take a look. So we got Hydra Red Skull team, and he's missing ISOs. Now this team, it doesn't matter what ISOs you use on him. You can use all Fortifier, all Healer. You could try some tricky stuff with like a Skirmisher on Trooper because he's, counterattacking all the time, placing vulnerable and stuff. Or you could do Raider on Trooper because he's AoEing a lot. So there's a lot of different things you could do. The ISOs really don't matter much on this team. Have fun with it, play around. Let's take a look at placement. So he's got his tank on the end, and that's fine, but you want to put Sniper next to him, or you could swap Red Skull with Scientist, and Red Skull isn't taking damage until the minions are gone, or they have defense down against like a power armor. So I would just swap Scientist and Red Skull. Then yeah, your power levels are a bit wonky. You should probably bring up those two that are a little lower. What is that? Sniper and Armored Guard or whatever his name is. Then, that's good enough. Your power levels overall are kind of low. I'd like to see this up over 200, 250. Let it warrant bringing in a big team like an Inhumans or I don't know, maybe. Who else do you use on this? Oh, Power Armor. Yeah, you could bring in a big Power Armor and Inhumans to beat this team, but it needs to be bigger. Another thing you can do is throw Zemo in on this team. If you have like a huge Zemo, you've been building them up for RTA, throw in Zemo on this team. It really screws people up because your low power level right here, is going to throw people off. You could add in a 60k Zemo, or like say you got a 50k Zemo in there. This is going to be a 200k team. People are going to be like, oh, I could probably beat that. If they glance at it and don't notice that Zemo's in there, then they bring in their team and Zemo just knocks their teeth out. So it's a thing to do. You might think about doing that. I'm going to say this is a B. This is a C. You really got to work on those power levels, the placement. Throw some ISOs on there. At least tier 1 ISOs. They help. All right. Team number 2 is Wave 1 Avengers with Fury on there. Okay. So you placed Hulk with Fury. I'm assuming that your Hulk just sucks, and that's why you put Fury in here. And this is one of the reasons why I brought this up. I don't know how this team is going to function with Fury. I've never seen this comp before. It could be pretty good. He's got synergy. Unfortunately, his speed-up maneuver doesn't take place until turn 2, but Black Widow's does take place turn 1, so this team could be really fast. It might help. The minions coming in here, I don't know how they're going to play out. They're probably just going to be fodder and die with some splash damage or something. Let's see. I do like your... No, I don't like your ISOs. Okay, so the glitch on Thor has been fixed. You need to change him to a Raider. This needs to be a Striker to go with his Skirmisher buddy, the little combo right there. Then you need to move Captain America to the outside. I would do it... I would go Captain America, Black Widow, and then Thor, and then follow up with Fury, and then finally Hawkeye should be your placement. I think you should make Fury a Raider, and with Thor being a Raider and Hawkeye being a Striker, I think that's going to be enough to get some crits, which will cause Fury to do his special little crit thing that he does. It gives off extra energy or turn meter or something on his basic attack. I don't remember. But yeah, so switch these ISOs, switch this placement. Your power levels are good. Your total power level is nice. I like that. I'm going to give this a C+. Coming up on team number 3, we have our Merc Guardians. Now, people are going to see this right here, and they're going to go, whoa, that's a pretty decent-sized Merc team, not realizing that the lion's share of your power is in Hela and some of it over here in Loki. And so if they bring in an X-Force that's big enough to take out a 340 Merc team, they're going to annihilate this team because Merc Lieutenant and probably Taskmaster are going to get knocked way below 50%. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody brought in like a 300 X-Force and knocked Merc Lieutenant just cold dead. So you really need to bring up the power levels of these three if you're going to have such big as Guardians in here with them. Also, you should change Taskmaster to a skirmisher. You should... Well, okay. I see what you're doing. Okay, so you got healer on these two, which is fine, and you want to make him a striker so that he also assists when... Well, not so much assists, but does a vulnerability attack because of the skirmisher placement of these two. So that's interesting. I don't think it's going to work out that well. I think you should either make him a raider and then go skirmisher and raider or skirmisher striker, or you should make him a skirmisher and put some more strikers on here. Either way, I think he should be raider or skirmisher, but not striker. And I think she should be raider or striker, but not skirmisher. So, fix your power levels. Your placement's fine. Fix your ISOs. It's a pretty good team. I know when I was running the Merc Guardians, I was getting several DVs just because their opener is so huge. And that's the other thing you could do. If you don't want to invest power into these two Mercs, you can just build up your Taskmaster. He's good in RTA. And that way the opener... COVID, excuse me. That way the opener is huge and they kill some people. It might just be a 2-tap team, though, if you do that, because... I mean, you take these guys out with an X-Force team, they just destroy. All right. It's a better team than what you've been showing. Maybe your Avengers is better than this one, actually, but I do like this. It's just a fun team, and it's new enough that people get tripped up by it. I'm going to give that, I don't know, what did I give the Avengers? Same grade. Whatever I gave the Avengers, I'm going to give the same grade over here. You just need to work on the ISOs and a little bit on the power levels. All right. Next up is... Holy trash can, Batman. Okay. So what you're doing is trying to utilize the Dad Bros, and you've got nice power level in them. You've got especially nice power level on that long shot. He's the damage dealer too, so this is really good. And look, you've got the proper ISOs on these guys because you've got Raider over here and Raider over here. However, you have nothing on these two, and you've got Skirmisher on her. You need to make this entire team Raider. Just make the entire team Raider, and this is going to work. This is going to work just fine. Somebody will crit and get these guys sped up with, what is it, health and barrier, or whatever they do, their little crit things that happen. It wouldn't hurt you to just take these guys to level 5 Raider, because they're going to be awesome. They are going to be awesome. So take the Dad Bros to level 5 Raider. Put at least level 1 Raider on these three. Drax is Drax. I mean, he's there to allow these two to get sped up, and that's cool. And then you've just got some leftover tunes of power, so that's cool. He adds a little bit of defense to this team with the anti-blind feature that he has, and she's taunting also. So it's good. I like what you're trying to do here, but you got to get those ISOs on here to make this team work. You know what? After reviewing it, it's not totally garbage. It's a C+. Those ISOs are killing you on this team. It's really important that you get those fixed. Okay. Next up, Doc Ock. I like your placement. I like your power levels. I'm not sure I like Skirmisher on Rhino. Yeah, in fact, I totally hate Skirmisher on Rhino. He needs to be Raider. You should put the Skirmisher over here. No, keep Striker. Okay. So go Raider. Keep Striker here. I like Raider here, Skirmisher, and Healer. So just change this one ISO. Power levels are good. Placement's good. You're using the right comp. Nice red stars on the team. That's a pretty good build. Change that one ISO. A-. Team number 6. Pimtech. Okay, so this is the other tank that I have found in the game that is probably a good fit for Fortifier. She isn't as tough a tank as she needs to be. Keeping her as a Fortifier is going to keep the taunt off of Ant-Man a little bit longer. The reason you have Skirmisher and Skirmisher on these two guys is because Ghost is calling one of them 50% of the time and the other 50% of the time. So if they're both Skirmisher, that means you're getting the Skirmisher Striker triple hit combo off of Ghost, and Ghost is rewinding a metric buttload of turn meter. I would put Stature out to the outside though, and put Wasp to the inside. Use Wasp as a buffer because she's a crap tune. She's really terrible. You got her as Raider, that's good. So I really like the ISOs. The placement could be tuned up a bit. And the power levels, you have Ghost through the roof because you're going to take her into DD4, and that's okay. The rest of the team isn't worth developing, so I can't fault you for having them at a lower power level. Ghost really carries the team anyway. So yeah, I like this team. I like this setup. Fix a placement, A-. All right, team number 7, and again, I'm got to stretch my screen over. All right. Fantastic Four on defense. So, I like them as an offensive team. However, they can be tricky on defense. Their best counter is the Fantastic Four with Namor. Go figure. If you brought up She-Hulk's power levels, I would think that this would be a much better team. Why you're not just buying her offer like crazy, I don't know. Don't buy her offer. If you're watching this video and you're not Hollywood, don't buy her offer. Okay, so Invisible Woman as a healer is okay. I kind of like her as either a skirmisher. Yeah, I like her as a skirmisher also, because she'll get called in for an assist a bunch of times, and she can place that vulnerability. So, healer's fine. She just doesn't have that big of a health pool, but healer's fine. And then you've got skirmisher and striker on the other 3. That's pretty good. You got striker on the guys who are doing damage, okay. And then you have She-Hulk as a raider. Now, at that low power level, you might think to put her as a fortifier just so she can take a little bit more damage. It gives her 20,000 extra health out of the gate, but I don't know. She's not doing a lot of damage at that low power level either, so that, you know, you're not getting anything with raider. I don't know if she's going to crit a lot or not. She's so slow. I'd probably put her as a fortifier for the beginning, even though I say don't put fortifier on tanks. It's just bring up her power levels. You can keep her as a raider. I like this team better on offense. Placement doesn't matter so much on this team, although your placement is good. Ooh, I didn't notice 7 red stars on Johnny. He's doing some damage. Okay. Nice. All right. Yeah, power levels. Maybe some ISOs. I'm going to give you a B+ for the team. I just don't like these guys on defense, but, you know, it's okay. It is what it is. All right, and the final team is Marauders. Again, we have the kind of a funky placement. I like having... Oh, my God. Stop calling me. I like having Emma out on the end, and but the placement's fine. It really doesn't matter. She's so far away. You've got Healer on Strife. I like him as a fortifier. He's the other tank that I like fortifier because he utilizes his barrier mechanic very well. Healer on Sinister and Emma. Striker on her and Skirmisher on him. Yeah, that works. That works. Those ISOs are fine. Your power levels are really good. Your placement works. I'm not even going to dock you for putting Sinister as a healer because he functions as a healer. He's at that level. He's got a big health pool and he can throw out a couple of health regens to people, so it's okay. Going to give you an A for that team. 618. That's a pretty substantial Marauders to get through. Yeah. So that's pretty good. I like that. The only one that I really want to see you work on for sure. This is your utmost important one right here. Get those ISOs fixed because this team will pop off. It's a good little hybrid you built here. It's something new and I can appreciate that. So this has been Hollywood's Roster Roast. If you like what you saw, there's going to be some links down in the description. You can send me information via Discord, you know, some pics of your roster if you want me to roast it and see what I can do. I can also do save squads too. I'm here on Twitch every Mondays 9 to noon. Come check me out. That's Pacific time. And don't just have a good game. Be good to each other. Thanks.